You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Wilfred After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Wilfred After Show.
Yo. Thing is for doing. We're here doing the Wilfred, Season 2, Episode 10, entitled Honesty.
And what an honest episode.
It really was. It really was. And if I can be honest with you folks, a little later in this show, we'll be talking about a new project coming up from Mr. Elijah Wood.
You like him as a psycho? Well, not like really a psycho, but definitely a mentally disturbed individual on Wilfred.
You should check out Lord of the Rings.
Also that.
And also this new film. Well, we'll talk about this new film later in the show. First off, Cats. Important to remember, we are not talking about the musical Cats with the people in the weird cat costumes dancing around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about actual physical cats.
And a prolific amount at that.
Yes. I misread something. We're talking about Ryan first. I am
We
bad.
were all prepared to just roll with it.
Yep.
All the internet was on board. They were like, all right, I guess we're going to talk about cats. And then you had to go and throw a curveball at them.
I did. I just hate the people on the internet.
Just adapt.
I'm sorry.
Like a cat would.
Like a cat.
To bring you further off topic.
God damn it. God damn it, great goodness.
What we're
My bad, folks.
What we're talking about, and it was a pretty major component of this episode, and we could argue that the series has been leading up to it all this season.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan finally getting down and being honest with himself.
That's right. We have this very... Now, it's a moment that we've seen at least hinted at before. Sorry, my ear itched. We've seen this moment sort of happen before, but I don't think it's happened as hard to Ryan as it does at about the end of Act 3 of this episode.
And he's never been this committed to it. It's always a sort of, well, I guess it's time for me. I don't know why he's becoming like, what I guess is Woody Harrelson at that point. Well, I guess it's time. No, Owen Wilson. I guess it's time for me to be honest with you guys. And no, he's going and assaulting it. He is going and slapping us all in the face with honesty.
He doesn't guess it's time to be honest. He is... Honesty farts in his face, and he smelt it. And now it's time to dealt it.
What an apt metaphor. What a beautiful wordsmith you are.
Really, I am like Edgar Allan Poe.
With farts.
With farts. Ryan realizes, despite having been told basically this whole season that Jenna's life is his fault, by being confronted again and again with that fact by Wilfred.
And Jenna. Who's reminding him, hey, oh, it's not like it's your fault. Again, I don't know why everyone is turning into Owen Wilson tonight. It's not your fault. But it totally is. And this is the first time that we're acknowledging it, too, I feel. Because we always sort of sidestep that. We have that at the end of the episode where, oh, no, Ryan's done something horrible again. Yeah. And then we sort of pass it off, and it's on the back burner. But this is really an episode where everything came to a head.
Yes.
So now he has to deal with it.
Right. And interesting... This is an interesting thing that I just put together in my head. He's about to blame Wilfred for all of the stuff that happens in this time around ruining Jenna's career, and where he's just sort of like rattling off all the stuff that Wilfred's done, and he's just like, and Jenna's career is ruined, and it's all my fault.
Right.
Now, obviously, this is mostly in reference to the fact that he left the pot around. He stole his sister's pee. Wow, that's a weird sentence. To get her off the hook. And all of these horrible things happen. And it's the first time he's really acknowledging that about himself. But he's also about to blame Ryan and about to blame Wilfred, and realizes that means it's his fault because Wilfred is a projection of everything bad in his brain.
That's totally true, because he's finally accepted a new level of honesty.
Yeah.
He's saying, okay, I'm a crazy person and you're a figment of my imagination. You are me. So by blaming you for anything, I have to blame myself.
I have to realize that you are a dog who is not really capable of... Well, maybe this dog is capable of editing a video about killing cats and postal service workers.
Which, by the way, not to get too off topic, I thought that was just like an added crazy thing.
Yeah.
It seemed legitimate to me. Like, of course, killing postal workers. But no, it's because he's a dog.
Yeah,
and dogs hate postal workers.
Yeah, you put that together?
Just now.
Yeah. It took me a second, and then I was like, oh, right, dogs hate these guys.
But apparently Ryan hates it.
Ryan hates postal workers and cats and Dobermans.
Right. Dobies.
But we do, like, I think it's refreshing that we get this level of honesty from Ryan, which left me really unsettled at the end of this episode. Because every time Ryan has a big moment, there's always another shoe ready to drop.
A series of shoes.
Yeah, there's always a series of really horrible...
There's a platoon of boots.
Steel-toed boots just aimed right at his beehole. Right there.
The beehole of his mind.
Yeah, the beehole of Ryan's mind. And this time around, they like he's honest with her. Then she takes the dog away, and then they meet again. And then instead of it being bad again, she's honest with him. Now, here's the thing that was really tense about that moment for me, is the entire time that was happening, there was this box of cats that had been sitting in a pit in Ryan's basement and were going to be killed. Mm-hmm. And everyone knew they were missing, like sitting on his lawn.
And they're right there.
Yeah, I was sort of waiting for that.
Speaking of being honest, come on, we got to be honest about what's going to happen to those cats when Wilfred is right next to them.
Yeah, well, this was a bad news scene waiting to happen.
But it didn't.
But it didn't, because honesty is the best policy. And Ryan...
But you know what? It's totally, at least for the purposes of this episode, this is the first good thing that's happened to Ryan. Not even really a good thing, but just not a bad thing. Yeah,
this is the first not unbelievably bad thing to happen to Ryan in a while.
It's the first not bad thing to happen to Ryan in forever, because he was honest.
Exactly.
So we'll see how long this keeps up. Mm-hmm. But...
Well, also, I mean, everything was always getting complicated, and there were just every time he lied, there was an added layer of something to fall on his head later.
So now we wipe the slate clean.
We've eliminated all of that on the Jenna side of this equation. I think Ryan...
Well, not all of it. There's the whole thing that he sees her dog as a person.
That's true.
Which
that's another
I don't
thing.
know if you've considered this, but is a pretty major tenet of the show. Just a thought.
I had never put that together until right now.
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
Well,
to point out your shortcomings.
And there are many. There are so many. Hey, folks. You listen to this podcast.
Clearly.
You listen to other podcasts? You should probably listen to other podcasts because they're pretty cool. There's some pretty cool podcasts out there.
This is the only one you really need. There are other ones.
But there is icing to be had upon the cake of podcast. So my recommendation for you, dear listener, is to go to iTunes. Use their little iTunes store, and they have a podcast app there. and you can find podcasts, and then you can rate them, and you can comment on them. And one thing we'd love for you to do is to rate and comment on our podcast here.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Lets people know that we're okay or not. You can also be honest.
Yeah, you can, like we said, honesty, like as we've been implying, honesty is the best policy.
But we'd really appreciate it if you lied and gave us 5 stars here.
Also, we're still running that contest. Say the meanest thing you can about Greg.
Or John. Or any of us.
Really?
Siobhan Hughes, she's not here tonight.
She's
you
not
say
here.
Something really mean about her.
Really, really tear her down. She has it coming. She knows what she did. But seriously, just rate, comment, tell your friends. That's all we ask.
Keeps the lights on.
Yeah. Lets us know what we're doing right. And we want to keep doing what you think we do right. And eliminate what you think we're doing wrong. Greg. John. Greg is bad. John is worse.
Speaking of the worst.
Cats.
And man, this episode really spoke to me, at least in the first half, because I'm not.
You're not a cat.
Not a cat person.
Not a cat person.
They are just moody and unplayful, and they do scratch. That's a real thing.
Yes, that's a thing they do. It's pretty horrible.
They didn't make that up for the purposes of the show.
That is not. That is a true fact. They have all scratched someone.
And I swear, they have poison in their little dagger fingers, because it always hurts much worse than a slight breaking of the skin.
Say sticking nails in your skin.
Right.
No, a cat's claw, though, way worse. I have a little bit of a soft spot for cats, as Greg can attest to. You read my script.
Oh, right.
That's about a cat.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think they're beasts of burden. They're there to kill smaller, pestier animals. That's why I've always had a cat.
How does that make it a beast of... Maybe I don't understand.
I've always interpreted the phrase beast of burden to mean a beast that carries a burden for, like a work animal.
Oh, I thought it was a beast that is a burden.
I could be wrong.
I don't know. There's a song about it out there by the Rolling Stones somewhere.
Check out that song and
call back to us.
Call in 424-256-1729. Tell us what beast of burden means, because I have no idea.
This episode has a lot of cats.
Lots of cats.
Which is kind of surprising that we've never seen cats brought out on parade like this until season 2. Seeing as how it's a show about a dog... Yeah. We've seen elements of it before, like passing reference and that sort of thing, but man, they were just everywhere tonight.
I think my favorite element of this episode was that cat stuff, because it brought up so many funny lines, such as "Please have your cats put down" in the video
before it's too late.
Before it's too late. Ryan saying to Wilfred, "We're making a cat-killing video, aren't we?" Is pretty great.
Which I'm glad they acknowledged it, too.
Yeah.
Because right away, I know where this is going. There's no way this is not going to turn into a cat-killing video. Which was a great scene. And I think kind of a cross-promotion with American Horror Story, because that suit looks suspiciously gimpish.
Oh, it does look a little... Oh, and speaking of that scene... Yeah. Now, also, greatest question ever asked on TV, I think, was asked in this episode.
Which was?
Why are there cats in a pit in my basement? In this sort of Silence of the Lambsian pit. Yeah. Where he's just torturing the cats.
You're losing your mind.
There's something about the schizophrenic projection. It's Ryan's projection of a human face onto this dog, going crazy, shouting at a pit full of cats that they're losing their minds. Something about that image will stick with me forever.
If you really tried to analyze this episode, I think you would just fall into a pit of Inception-ness that we've talked on before. We've talked about maybe like the 5th dream layer. I think what you just described is like we've gone into 7 dreams at this point.
Oh,
this is past the basement with the train, and this is just straight on to some other unforeseen level.
We're real deep. We're in like, oh man, the Cheshire Cat is really. His smile's just lingering there, and there's a bunch of dudes tripping on shrooms telling us stuff.
Speaking of trippiness, kind of trippy, sad trippy video that ultimately came out of that editing process.
Yeah.
And again, something I'd totally be cool with running, because ultimately, don't care about cats.
I don't ever need to look at pictures of sad puppies ever again.
Right.
I've had my fill. Anytime I hear a Sarah McLachlan song, I immediately start crying.
Fun fact, he's not exaggerating.
Not making that up.
I've seen him cry during the anti-animal abuse.
I can't handle it. I can't. This is a serious fact about me.
And yet you love the idea of a cat murder video.
Well, no. It's not the cat murder. It's sex butchering that I'm in favor of.
Okay. You realize that's worse, right?
It depends on the order.
You're just happy there's no Sarah McLachlan song behind it.
As long as there isn't a Sarah McLachlan song, you can do whatever you... Wow. No.
The views expressed here do not necessarily reflect...
The one thing I do... One thing I really love is one of the cats' names is Chairman Meow.
Oh, yeah, that stuck with me, too. I love stupid puns.
Oh, they're great. Also, one of the notes I wrote down is Chekhov's box of cats, which is sort of specifically in reference to the what I mentioned earlier, where they were outside and the box of cats was there. And, you know, there's that famous quote from Anton Chekhov, if you plant a gun in the first act, you have to fire it in the third act. So I was really hoping that the cats would, like, be a problem.
They weren't a problem, but I will say that it was fired in the third because the Dobies rushed in.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, did all those cats get murdered. I wonder how they shot that, by the way, because those dogs were really angry, and those cats were really docile and slow.
Yeah. I was scared for many a life in that.
We should really check the credits on this one again and see if that whole no cats were killed by Dobermans during the making of this production.
Yeah, let's see if they didn't have to luck this one.
Yeah. Oh, too soon. Making reference to a canceled HBO show that killed a lot of horses.
3.
Really classy, John.
3 horses.
God. You know who's classy?
Are you going to say Fiona Goobleman or Jenna?
Yes.
Whatever her last name is?
I'm going to say Jenna. I'm going to say Fiona Goobleman.
Fiona Goobleman's a classy lady.
She coming into her own in this episode.
Yeah, we get this has been, for those of you who like just started listening to our podcast, one of our big things that we've noticed this season is that Jenna simply is. Something exists as just sort of a...
Previously, here as for to as was just existed. But during the season, she started coming into her own.
Yes. And I think this is the sort of big moment.
Especially after we haven't seen her for a few episodes.
Yeah, we haven't seen her for a while because Ryan was dating that
super hot girl.
That's right.
Super hot.
And then he blows it with her because he's an idiot.
Yeah. And he's not honest, but he kind of is. He's honest in that he can't continue the relationship.
Right.
But that was built on a pyramid of lies.
Yep. But now, Ryan's honesty brings out some honesty from Jenna, which we all kind of knew anyway, I feel like.
That was actually a huge surprise for me. Jenna's admission that I've been using you this entire time. Jenna does play that really sweet girl, and she plays it convincingly.
Yes.
Not to the point where you would say, oh, well, I wonder if she has an ulterior motive. So that for me was, whoa, this is going to be... I was kind of surprised that Ryan took it as lightly as he did in the episode. But that's a huge admission that, hey, you're an idiot who's just watching my dog for free all the time. Which is basically what she's saying.
Yep. Yep.
And picking up my dry cleaning and giving me free legal counsel.
Yeah, he's doing... And fishing his sister's piss to help her pass a drug test.
Right.
And all of this.
Unbeknownst to her, though.
Right.
I'm just talking about the malice she knowingly showed towards him. Never mind all the stuff beneath the surface.
Right.
The malice that Ryan was bringing onto himself.
Yes. Yes. She was cruel. The only note I have from that moment is, oh, shit!
Does it have all the exclamation
no,
points?
but it's in all caps.
Yeah, and it has a exclamation
It has
point,
an exclamation
so that's about as excited as you get about anything.
Yeah, I don't get excited about stuff.
I think that this is going to be a bright new beginning.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of, oh, this is like a reset for the characters or even their relationship, but establishing her as an actual person with emotions and ulterior motives and other thing going on in her head other than I'm a smiley neighbor lady who has a sweet dog. That's going to be big pushing into the end of this season because we know this has to be leading all towards something. We've gotten rid of Ryan's other love interest, at least for now.
Right.
So where is this going with Jenna? It has to go somewhere, and this is the first step.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
I think.
And hopefully, it just makes things more complicated and horrible for Ryan. And that he slowly travels down the horrible path of mental illness.
That's how exactly that this is going to be building up, Ryan. They're deepening their relationship.
Right.
It's no longer just, oh, it's the girl I have a crush on next door. This is, all right, now I'm falling for this girl. We're opening up to each other. We're being real. I don't know who I was doing an impression of there. It definitely wasn't.
That was Luke Wilson. That was Luke Wilson on that one.
Okay.
We're going to get all the Wilson brothers tonight from Greg Goodness.
I think I do a pretty good Owen Wilson. They should throw us a curveball and just have Owen Wilson start an episode.
Yeah, they should just have the Wilson brothers play every part.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
It'll be directed by Wes Anderson. But yeah, so we have some serious. I think this is the growth that we were talking about needing from Jenna. We needed something more from her, and I think it's probably good for Fiona Gubelman as an actress to have a little bit more juice to this part.
As she should. She's a very talented young woman.
And it's good for the show because it adds another thing to drive him back to the pill bottle. It's another thing in his life to fall apart.
You should see John when he's watching the show. He's just on the edge of his seat like, yes.
Is this it?
Yes.
Will this be the time he does it? Come on, you coward. Pull the trigger.
Grim.
It is. And with that, I think it's time that we get into our little bit of news and gossip.
We do have
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Take it away.
As we've said earlier, Elijah Wood plays a bit of a crazy man on the show. Has a few things, few synopses loose, but he has never been violent.
No.
And haven't you ever thought to yourself, man, I really like Elijah Wood as a crazy person, but I just really wish he would stab someone. Well, now you may get your opportunity. Because
tell them what they won, Greg.
According to Deadline, Elijah Wood will be taking the title role in the reprisal of a long, I wouldn't say forgotten thriller, but a thriller that people probably haven't heard of in a while, entitled Maniac. Okay? And he is going to be playing a shopkeep owner who comes into contact with a nice young lady when she comes into his mannequin store. So we know that we're in for a treat with that.
This is going to be a visually horrifying film.
And he eventually comes to get close to her, and it becomes increasingly aware that he is indeed a maniac who's really obsessive to the point of violence. So this
maniac in the store. and he's dancing like he's never danced before.
You were waiting for that.
I really
You've
was.
been planning that all night. Just been like, hurry up, get to the gossip.
Just say the name of the title. Yeah.
I have to get to...
I have to do my joke. I have to do my flash dance joke, Greg.
But this is going to be played totally straight, as I understand it from the article, at least. This is not, oh, I'm a crazy guy.
I'm crazy.
You know, horror comedy. This is Elijah Wood is completely insane, and he is going to murder you. You should be afraid. So if you like Elijah Wood being all adorable and cutesy here, then stay far away.
Or 3 foot tall, like in Lord of the Rings and his brief appearance in The Hobbit.
Right. So get ready to be stabbed.
That's right. You will be stabbed if you see this movie.
If you want to prepare for it, it's a 1980 film.
Okay.
And it was a William Lustig film. So
check it out.
You can go ahead and go through Netflix, Bing it.
Bing that.
Discover all you can about it going into it, and then you'll be maybe less scared or maybe more scared because you know what's going to happen, and the inevitable is all more terrifying than the unknown.
Exactly.
I got real for a second there.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Anyways, I think that's going to bring us into Creepy Theremin music time.
Creepy Theremin.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predict something.
You almost ran out of breath.
I know. I did.
You gotta hit the gym.
Yeah, I gotta get back into swimming.
That's fine. Swimming.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It's good for your
yeah.
for lung capacity. Predict something.
I predict that I think that this honesty policy is going to get tied up in the inevitabilities of Ryan's sort of meandering, wormy mind, and we're not going to see a permanent stick to this honesty. I think that things are going to get deeper and deeper, and by the end of Season 2, playing on that theme of honesty, we might even see the big reveal. I think Jenna may come to find out that Ryan does see a giant man in a dog suit.
Predict something. I think... Well, obviously, I'm pretty on board with that. This whole...
Honesty
world,
is not going to last. Right.
Something, it can't last because it's...
The show is built on lies.
Yeah, the show has been built on lies. And this truth is so overwhelming and soul-crushing that it will... if the truth comes out, it tears many a relationship apart.
Right.
For sure. Also, I'm going to predict that Jenna sees Ryan with a dog face.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
You don't believe that for 1 second.
I don't, because that's stupid.
We're stupid.
Yes, we are.
This whole thing.
This whole damn courtroom is stupid. Greg, tell them where they can find you.
At Generic Maverick on the Twitter.com.
That's right. Find me at @JDuganBarrett on Twitter.com. Also, you can see me performing in Second City's Intern Showcase next Wednesday, August 29th at 10 p.m. at the Second City Training Center in Hollywood. Till then, catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.